Happy Wednesday, T Squad. It's me, Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 12, Episode 28 review. To my Patreon fam, sorry I wasn't able to do a watch along for this week's episode. I wasn't able to download it, unfortunately. Hopefully, I'll be able to get it next week. But, of course, I got other great videos for you guys over on Patreon. But I do want to let you guys know that this week I will be dropping a Shein haul video. Please, please, please support it. I have some dope looks that I want to show you guys, and you do not want to miss it. I'm styling the pieces up so you can see how to wear it for yourself. Of course, all of the pieces will be linked in the description box, so don't miss out on that. And I'll be dropping one of my exposés this week. So, whoo, I got some heat for y'all this week. But let's get into this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So Rashida and Kendra link, and they go to a spa, and she says that her delivery may have been wrong when her and Yandy got into it, and that when she said that they weren't friends, she didn't mean verbatim that they weren't friends. She just meant that they're not best of friends. Like, they don't talk like that outside of the show, which is understandable. I never took them to be besties of friends anyway. Rashida was just like, don't try to blame what's happening to your boyfriend, your spouse, or whatever on us. Shade. That was shady. She even goes on to say, I'm not even sure if they're legally married or not. And I mean, is it shady? Yes, but that's real true tea, because none of us know, are they really truly married or not? Like, did they ever really tie the knot? That is something that we, the public, do not know. But as far as her saying that they're trying to blame what's happening with Mendices on them, Kirk started this whole thing. He kicked this whole fiasco off, if I'm remembering correctly. And Rashida, you played a part in it by lying to Yandy about not knowing about the altercation that happened between them. So you did play a part in this whole situation. To be honest with you, I do think that the whole thing has just gotten blown out of proportion. But at the end of the day, your husband was the one that tried to focus blame or scandal elsewhere to get the heat off of him. Saucy Santana and his mama, they go out to lunch or whatever, and she asks about the guy that had schmoozed him last year, and he says that, you know, this was a relationship that he'd had with this person for quite some time, and that he thought that, you know, physical schmooze was just a part of relationships or whatever, and he realized that he was bringing the same verbal schmooze energy into his relationship with Chef D and with Zell, and how he watched footage back of the way he used to talk to Chef D and just bust out crying. And hopefully this is something that teaches him that you just can't go around talking to people no any type of way, and that verbal schmooze sometimes is even worse than the physical, because you just can't forget the things that somebody says to you that easily. You know, the scars and stuff can fade away, but words will stick with a person for a long time and really play on their psyche. So you have to be really careful with what you say to people. So his mama was like, I think you should do therapy and talk to your two dads. And that's when we find out that his biological father is in jail, and his other dad that raised him was in his life until he and his mom divorced. Then he moved to Connecticut and basically abandoned the family, and has been trying to avoid the conversation about, you know, why haven't you been here for us since then? And Saucy was like, but you're my dad. Like, it was never no situation where I looked at you like you were my stepfather. Like, you were my dad. And he begins to cry and leaves out the restaurant, and they're outside and they're talking. And he says that, it really hurt him to see him on photographs with another woman's kids and grandkids. Like, what about us? So I see a lot of hurt and pain in Santana, and it kind of explains why he operates the way that he does, with the going out all the time and running away from life, it seems like. So it's because, for me, that he's dealt with a lot of a smooch. He had the schmexual relationship with a family member for years. Then we're finding out, that he's been in physical abusive relationships. Then we're finding out that his biological father is in jail, was never able to be there. And then the man that did raise him abandoned the family, and he hasn't had a relationship with him. So he's had a lot of loss and a lot of trauma in his life that he really honestly needs to seek help for. He really honestly does. And I think that until he does that, he's going to continue to have issues and problems that are going to arise in his life. So, child, then we go to my girl Sierra. Sierra in her confessional talking about something. So I know a lot of the other couples are having a lot of issues, clearly, but me and my man Zay, we having a blast, baby. We made a schmex tape. And the producer say, wait, you guys made a schmex tape? She was like, yeah, I'll let you see it when I get done with my green screen. Like, Sierra, like, how'd you get to just show yourself having sex with the producers of the show? Like, what is wrong with this girl? She is so crazy. But the crazier thing about it is I actually like her and Zay's relationship. I actually think that, like, he may be the one. He may be the guy that actually sticks around and that they stay married for some time, because they are like each other's best friends. Like, she can be her crazy, ratchet, goofy, ignorant self around him, and he allows it and he appreciates it and he feeds into it. Like, I like them together. They are funny to me. So the couples take a dance class together, and Bambi dude Ray has had a few, and he's doing a lot of talking. And he was like, now I gotta practice being celibate, and this the most challenging thing I ever been through in my life. And Bambi kind of just looking at him like, okay, like, all right. Like, he's starting to kind of like give her the ick and getting on her nerves, because she was like, this is not the same dude that I brought on this trip yesterday. Like, he doing the most. So then he just keep on talking about schmex, and Bambi asked him, like, why you keep bringing that up? Like, we had an agreement that they were going to be celibate with one another. She just wasn't going to leap and jump and get in the bed with him. And he was like, I'm joking. But she ain't really feeling it. She feel like he's not joking, and she side-eyeing him at this point. And I'm going to give my feelings about this whole Ray and Bambi thing in a second. But after that, Mendices asks Kirk to talk. So they step over to the side and they talk about what's going on between their wives. And Mendices says that he doesn't know Jasmine. He don't know her at all. And Kirk was like, well, there is other things being said. It was mentioned to me you be at her bar. And Mendices kind of looking like, where the hell that come from? And mind you, Kirk smirking like he always do. And the producer asks Kirk in his confessional about this video that allegedly is going around of Mendices with another woman. And Kirk was like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Some people say that they got the video. And he was like, he basically is not going to confirm or deny because he doesn't want to be looked at as a snitch. So he's continuing to perpetrate this scenario that Mendices is cheating by putting out, these buzzwords and insinuating certain things. Kirk has been the the instigator of this since the beginning. And Rashida, you need to hold your husband accountable after you've seen this season, seeing that your husband is keeping this narrative going on. Now, we don't know if it's true or not, whether or not this man cheating. At the end of the day, Yandy with him, and it look like she gonna stay with him. So, hey, both of y'all can be the dumb wives if that's what y'all want to be. So then Mendices says once again that he don't know Jasmine, don't want to know Jasmine or anything like that. And I believe him when he says that he don't know her or whatever. He don't have no communications with her. I believe that 1000%. Now, as far as him dealing with anybody else, we don't know. So, like I said, Kirk is smirking like, nigga. And so Mendices in his confession was like, if you gonna stand on everything that Jasmine say got truth on it, then I have to take into account that everything she says about you is true. And I'm like, exactly. And I wish that you would have said that to his face, because when it comes to you, Jasmine is a liar. You can't trust anything that she has to say. But when it comes to Mendices, you believe everything that comes out of her mouth. Get out of here, Kirk. Please stop. Please stop. So Kirk tells him that he just feels like Rashida and Yandy should have a one-on-one talk themselves. And I agree with that too as well. So back in Atlanta, Saucy is at his mama's house or at his house or whatever. And she tells him that he needs to call his father. He was like, I'm not calling, you can call. So she calls from her phone and she was like, Vic, Rashad is right here. He wants to talk to you. I did not know his name was Rashad. That's so cute. So they get on the phone and Vic was like, it's good to hear your voice. I love you. I'm so proud of you. And, we shouldn't have gone 3-4 years without speaking. And Saucy was like, well, my number been the same this whole time. So make it make sense. And I agree with him. Like, cause you supposed to be my father. You are supposed to be the one that's loving and nurturing on me. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not putting forth the energy, why would I or should I? And I 1000% agree with him on that part. So Vic says that he was trying to make it through the day at that time when he left. That's why he stepped away from being a parent to them or whatever. And as an adult, I get it that people go through things and that, parents struggle. They have their own baggage, trauma, drama, whatever, day-to-day issues, mental health issues, whatever that they're dealing with. I get it. I go through things, you go through things. And as a woman and as a grown adult woman, I can understand that adults go through things. But that doesn't mean that gives you the right to just say, F your kids, whether they're yours biologically or not. That doesn't just give you the right to just shut out the whole entire world and just be like, forget y'all. That's not how you go about handling things. So Saucy was like, to me, it feels like since we're not your biological children, it's just like, F us. He said, even now that we've been on the phone about 20 minutes, you have yet to say, I apologize. And that's really all that he wants, is a genuine, honest apology, and to then see him try to be there for him again afterwards, because actions speak louder than words. And Vic was like, shit, I was raised without my father. Let me tell you something. Now, that ignorance, I would have been like, boop, hung up, because that was the lamest, wackest, ignorant thing that he could have ever said out of his mouth. So since you ain't had no daddy, it's just like, well, shit, I can stop being a daddy whenever I want to then. Forget the ramifications of how it makes my kids feel. Like, that was so pathetic. So pathetic. Now, that I would have ended the conversation on. But he eventually apologizes, and Saucy, takes the apology and tells him to do better. But in his confessional, he was like, I'm basically going to take that with a grain of salt. And I get that. I understand that. And I agree with that because, like I said, actions speak louder than words. And you can say all of that, but if you're not taking the actions afterwards to show me that you're apologetic and that you want to genuinely be in my life, then it is what it is. And I can bet and guarantee that he probably ain't even heard from that man since, because that's the energy that he's giving me. So back on the trip, it's Kendra, Jock, Bambi, and Ray. Like I said, Ray been drinking. He been drinking. And so he leaned over to Jock and was like, everything she told me she wanted me to do, I've done. You spend 12 bands on a B right now. How you gonna feel? Let me tell you something. I don't believe in hitting on people in the relationships, but I would have took off on him, because who you calling to be? Who you calling to be? You and 19, why? You gotta let them know you and 19, why? That's a unity. I know you. I know that's probably how you talk to other girls. That might be how you refer to women in songs or what. But I ain't the one, or the two, or the three, or the four, or the five, or the six. Excuse me? I don't care what you spent on me. You not about to call me out my name. I was surprised Bambi didn't check him. Cause what? Uh-uh. No. No, 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 no. No, no, no. So Jock says to him, sometimes your money can't stand up to the amount of time and effort that's put forth. And I said, you better speak a word, Jock. I ain't know you had it in you, because you just as dumb and ignorant yourself. So Ray was like, but I thought money was supposed to speed it up, though. And that's what's wrong with you little YNs. Y'all think y'all can throw money at any and everything and think that that's going to make things okay, or that's going to buy you out of having to deal with issues or people. Like, that's not how we roll over here, youngster. And I really appreciate the fact that Bambi didn't just automatically rush and jump into bed with him, because she does have children. She did just get out of a divorce or whatever. I want to get to know you and see where your head at. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that about Bambi. I like Bambi for the most part. Do she got her ways in certain areas? Yes. But for the most part, I like her. So Bam was like, we'll work on it. We not about to argue about this right now. Just trying to shut the conversation down. And he gonna say, I mean, Jock, I know you understand what I'm saying. I've been a player my whole life. I've been fucking up 1,000 bitches my whole life. And at that point, Bam had enough. She was like, it's time to go. Good night. I'm done. And she gets up and walks away. And I was like, you should have been did that, okay? Because I could very well see myself in that predicament. I've been celibate for years now. For years. And I am at a point in my life where I'm not just about to hop into bed with somebody. I want to get to know you, get to know your intellect, where you at, your mannerisms, your ethics, your morals, your values. I want to see how you move, see how you act in different, you know what I'm saying, environments and all of that type of stuff. And I take you on a trip, and then you get to constantly bringing up schmecks and saying all this little extra stuff. That would have turned me off from you right then and there, and you would have never had to worry about me. I would have never spoken to you again, because it showed me your mentality and where you at. You know what I'm saying? Because it's given very much you just going along with the celibacy thing to appease me, so you, in the end, you can still get what you want. And that's why you can't really tell people your desires when it comes to relationships, because they'll use that and be what you want them to be, or who you want them to be, and trap you, get you in, and then reveal their real true self, and you looking like the fuck. And that's exactly what this Ray dude is doing, and I don't like that. And I'm trying to figure out how we get from that to now she's accepting his proposal, because they just got engaged a month and a half, 2 months ago. What? Excuse me? Like, I really want to know how they got from that to that, because I'm confused. So at the end of the episode, Zane suggests he and Ashley have a one-on-one conversation with Carly. And T-Lo was like, I'm going to come with you. That's her husband. Was her husband. He her husband now, child. So they go in a little room, in a little conference room, and they sit down, and Carly and Ashley get to arguing again. And Ashley says, so why the F you asking me if I do threesomes? And Carly says, I was being cool with you. I was getting to know you. I don't want nobody to get to know me that way. Like, excuse you? Like, that is so weird. If somebody was to ask me that in real life, I don't know what I would do. Because I'll be like, are you sleepy? Are you conscious? What? Like, that ain't no question that you ask somebody to get to know them. Like, oh my God, that is so weird. So Ashley in her confessional says, the second time I ever met you, no one's talking about anything sexual. You look me dead in my eyes and ask me, do I have threesomes? We already know you gave Zane your hotel room key. So what is your motive? Are you trying to have a threesome with me and my husband? Like, what's the deal? So I get where Ashley's mindset is when it comes to Carly, because that is weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you trying to sleep with me and my husband? Like, what type of time you on? You know what I'm saying? But as far as the situation of Ashley having an attitude with Carly because she invited Zane back to her hotel room back in 2014. I guess back then they were supposed to have been together in a relationship at that point. Would I feel some type of way about it? No, because that was however many years ago. I wouldn't honestly care about it. I would care more that my husband didn't tell me about it, not you. Because you got me around this chick in her face. At least let me go into the situation on even ground, knowing the lay of the land, you know? So after that, Carly brings up receipts showing that at that time when she gave him her room key, that she texted him and said, and you can bring your girl too. So Ashley says, but you said you didn't know he had a girl. So who are you talking about? And I was like, well, girl, hey, maybe she didn't remember saying that, but she went and got the text and that's what she said. But at the end of the day, you need to be asking your husband, who was the girl? Because it wasn't you. So once again, my love, you need to be turning to the left and questioning your man instead of arguing with this lady. Okay? But all of them dumb. So they agreed basically to disagree. And as they're going to leave, here go Zane talking about check your bitch to T-Lo. And T-Lo was like, who you talking to? So they have words or whatever. Security jump in. And the episode goes off. But my thing with Zane, he getting on my nerves. I don't like him on this show. I really don't, because it's so obvious that he is hungry for camera time. There ain't never a scene where he just sitting back, letting others shine. He always got to be all in the videos, all in the silver jumpsuits dancing. You know what I'm saying? Like Puffy. Like, dude, can you just chill? It's like you can tell he done got this check and he gonna do whatever he can to hold on to it. He just irks my nerves. He do too much. He talk too much. He try to act tough, and that ain't even your ministry. You like 4'11". If you don't get somewhere and sit down. And when they was in that gym scene and all of them had on tank tops and stuff, and he's sitting in there with a tank top, and from the shoulders to waist, it was like a grown man body. And then when you get to the legs, it was giving osh gosh be gosh. He all funny shaped. And I'm like, Ashley, you doing all of this for this hobbit? Like, you need to get your priorities together. This man ain't even proportioned right. Like, absolutely not. Okay? Gross. Okay? I don't like him. Get him off of here. He irks my nerves. Ugh. But overall, I'm going to give this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I'm going to give this week's episode a C. It was cute. But you guys stay tuned for my Shein haul video this week. One of my exposés will also be dropping this week. I want it to be a surprise because I got the tea for y'all. But yeah, if you haven't joined my Patreon, please do so. You can watch along with me the shows that I do reviews on. And then if you join my second tier, which is the High Tea Squad tier, you not only get to watch all of the shows that I review with me, but right now we're watching 2 Ways with Erica Mena from Zeus. And we're also watching season 2 of Interview with the Vampire. And I might do Handmaid's Tale, but then we got The Last of Us coming up. So I think I might want to do a watch along with The Last of Us. So I don't know yet, but yeah, it's popping over on my Patreon. So please join. The link is down below in the description box. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.